We back. Since y'all showed hella love to the last one, we got more One Piece, and today we're covering Orange Town. Let me know any more series you want me to cover and follow my socials in the description below for more. And with that being said, let's go. Now that Luffy and Zoro are out at sea, they realize they have no plan as well as nothing to eat. This is also when they realize neither of them have any navigation skills, which is a problem when you want to be a pirate. While they argue about this, Zoro explains how he only set out to sea to look for one man but got lost, which definitely will only happen this one time. Meanwhile, these pirates from another crew are discussing their treasure until they notice a small boat in the water with a passed out girl in it. They decide to check on her and she offers them money for their help. They go to check what treasure she has and it's complete bullshit. While these niggas distracted, she takes their ship and their treasure. God damn, shorty a thug. Oh, and she knows how to navigate and shit. Fast forward, Zoro finds that crew washed up, but he's a little busy saving Luffy from this giant bird. Zoro doesn't have time and tells them to just hop on, and as thanks, they decide to rob him? They also reveal that they're part of Buggy the Clown's crew, which I guess is supposed to scare us. Okay. After they get lumped up, they reveal that their captain, Buggy, is a devil fruit eater. Cut back to this fucking thief. She stole this map from these pirates, but she doesn't realize she's made an enemy of the legendary pirate, Captain Buggy. Buggy sees the bird carrying Luffy and tells his men to shoot it down, and the sound catches this random unimportant girl's attention as Luffy falls from the sky, but obviously it's Luffy, so he's fine. Then this sneaky fuck starts calling Luffy boss and pretending he's her captain to get a get out of jail free card and leaves Luffy to fight the pirates himself. While they pressing Luffy ass, one of the pirates knocks his hat off and Luffy does not. Oh my god. He then tells them keep their hands off his treasure. Why did these niggas still choose to fight him? I don't know, but you know how that went. Girl is impressed by this and reveals herself to Luffy as Nami, the cat burglar. Nami is a thief that only steals from pirates and Luffy's not interested, but Nami tags along anyway. Meanwhile, Buggy and them are talking about what they're going to do about Nami, but Buggy mistakenly thinks one of his men is talking shit, so he starts force choking his ass, which I don't know how he did that because that's not Buggy's devil fruit power, but whatever. Okay. Buggy tells his men get that map back or he's gonna kill him. Luffy's being a fat bitch, and Nami tells him everyone left this town because of Buggy and her goal of collecting 100 million berries. Wonder why she needs that. Luffy doesn't give a fuck about that, but what he does care about is Nami being a navigator, and he instantly asks her to join his crew. Luffy ready to celebrate and shit, but Nami declines, and she said that shit with her chest. She must have something personal against pirates or something. Luffy is insisting on Nami being their navigator, but she not on that. Until she remembers everyone else in town wants her dead, which leads to her making a little deal with Luffy. She's gonna take him to see Buggy as a hostage. Look at this nigga. Buggy just got word that Nami got away, and that nigga is blowed. Oh my god. Are you serious right now, bro? But Nami is here, and she has a plan. Just frame Luffy for it. She says that they fell out and that she wants to join Buggy's crew, which he agrees to. So Buggy tells Nami just blow this nigga up, and she tries to talk him out of it, but this nigga just pure evil. Luffy started talking to this bitch so. He said, don't puss out now. You step into the seas, you better be ready to die about it. One of Buggy's men then tries to light the fuse, but Nami knocks his ass the fuck out and says she refuses to be like the pirates who killed those close to her. But the fuse is already lit, and they ready to smoke Nami ass, but she stops that shit with her bare hands. That's tough, Nami, I can't lie. Zoro finally shows up and handles all the goons, and Buggy really on that time. He really trying to scrap with Zoro ass, but Zoro said you don't want that. But he gonna give him what he asking for. But when Zoro goes to cut Buggy, hey yo, what the fuck? And his crew just start laughing like, the fuck is funny? While Zoro not paying attention, Buggy pops out and shanks his ass, and this nigga's arm is detached from his body. Buggy ate the chop chop fruit, which allows him to separate his body parts and makes him invulnerable to being cut. Zoro told him that hurt a little bit. Nigga, you're stabbed. Well, Luffy doesn't like how they doing his man, so he called Buggy a big-nosed bitch. So Buggy tries to stab him, but my nigga catches that shit with his teeth and says, oh, I'm finna whoop your ass. Buggy not really worried, and he ready to kill all of them. But Luffy crazy ass says he refuses to die and tells Zoro to run. At this point, Buggy's had enough and he started going crazy, but Zoro gets the fuck up out of there and enacts the plan him and Luffy somehow made without ever saying a word to each other, and he turns the cannon on Buggy. Zoro then tells Nami to light it, and that shit blows them the fuck out the water. Now Zoro's trying to lift Luffy's cage, but he's too hurt, and Luffy introduces Nami to him as their new navigator. Nah, Zoro's tough as fuck, look at this nigga. Buggy's still alive and he wants smoke, along with his strongest crew member, Moji. Meanwhile, Zoro's still carrying Luffy around like furniture, and he fucking falls out right in front of this weird ass dog. Now Luffy thinks this is the most interesting thing in the world, but Zoro could care less. Look at your dumb ass. After Luffy's done getting mauled, Nami shows back up and she has the key to his cage, but the little mutt snatches that shit up and he eats it. Yo, bro's wildin'. A man comes out and tells Luffy to get off that dog and reveals himself as the mayor of this town. He sees Zoro's injured, so he lets him sleep at his crib. He then tells them the dog is guarding the pet shop that once belonged to his friend who died 3 months ago, and he's here to feed the dog for him. The dog's been here this whole time, protecting the shop to show respect to his owner. Of course, any sentimental moment has to get ruined by a villain, and this time, it's Moji. Moji seems to think he can tame any animal, but this dog is built different. Now he tells Luffy to give up Zoro to them, which Luffy obviously refuses, so he calls on Richie, the lion. At least he breaks Luffy out of his cage. They assume they beat Luffy, and Richie wants a meal from the pet store, but this little nigga bucking. Meanwhile, Luffy's back up and he goes off to stop Moji, but Richie beating the hell out this little ass dog.
Help me, nigga!
He got that dog in him though, he fighting. But shit gets real bad when they start burning down the shop. Damn, that's fucked up. Luffy sees this and just know he gotta knock these niggas out, and he definitely does that. Nami and Luffy come back and find the dog, just sitting. And again, Nami expresses pirates are horrible, and Luffy will be just the same, so she should probably kill him now. Luffy sits next to the dog and gives him the last bit of dog treats he could save. Even Nami has to love Luffy after this. Luffy and the dog say their goodbyes, and now it's time for smoke. Moji came back to Buggy, beat the fuck up, and Buggy getting ready for war. At the same time, the mayor is inspired by Luffy to fight for his town and reminisces on its creation. Him and the citizens built that shit with their bare hands. But regardless of that fact, Buggy wants to blow the whole town away. And he starts with the mayor's house, which Zoro happens to be sleeping in.
You better close that mouth.
Somehow Zoro just chilling like nothing happened. Shit got the mayor ready to crash out, but Nami holding him back. Eventually, he gets loose and runs towards Buggy's camp. Now, Nami is horrified, but Luffy like, I like those out of you, OG about that action. Since OG putting his life on the line, Zoro and Luffy decide they gotta fight too. This is some real nigga shit you wouldn't understand. Nami agrees to join Luffy, but not as a crewmate, just kinda allies. Now the mayor pulls up on Buggy and he want his head, pause, and Buggy instantly choking him out. But right when Buggy about to let off another shot, you know what time it is. Luffy finally ready to smoke that clown pack. The old man still trying to fight and shit, so Luffy just knocks his ass out. Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. Luffy starts assaulting Buggy's nose again, so now Buggy's definitely ready to kill him. But Luffy just balloons up and sends that shit back. Buggy wild though, use them boys as human shields. Moji wakes back up. And Buggy's second mate, Kabaji, pops out too, using Richie as a shield. This nigga Moji get bullied, look at this shit. After all that, they finally ready to fight. Zoro steps in to fight Kabaji, but this nigga fights dirty, instantly going for his wound. But Zoro don't give a fuck. He let that nigga get a free one in and everything, just to let him know he can't fuck with him. All of this shit is stressing Nami out, so she dipped. These niggas really ain't got no honor. They start trying to jump my man, but we don't do that over here. Stop playing. Now Zoro's really ready to end this shit, and yeah, he one-shot it, bro. Now, with everyone else out the way, Luffy ready to fight, but Buggy talks about how he remembers that straw hat from a certain man, red-haired Shanks. Yep, Buggy knows Shanks. Remember that.
Oh, he's stealing! He's stealing!
In the midst of the fight, one of Buggy's attacks cuts Luffy's hat. And that nigga is pissed. I'm like, chill bro, it's just a little cut, but Luffy don't play by his hat. That hat is his treasure. Since he sees that got him upset, Buggy decides to destroy it more. Nah, that's fucked up. Then Buggy finds out this really is Shanks' hat. Buggy's so disrespectful, bro. Then it's revealed that Buggy and Shanks were once crewmates as apprentices. Wonder whose ship that was. Buggy's still disrespecting, so Luffy kicks that nigga in the nuts. And it's at this point Buggy explains why he can never forgive Shanks. And as always with Buggy, it has something to do with treasure. Yep, it's flashback time. First time we see Shanks and Buggy, these niggas arguing about if the North Pole or South Pole is colder, I guess. And the rest of the crew just egging them on.
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
Everybody started laughing at their ad till a ship appears. And Buggy being Buggy, he wants to steal their treasure. Shanks not really on that, so Buggy goes by himself. And he smokes this nigga and finds a map. And this is his first ever treasure map, so obviously it means a lot to him. Come nighttime, Buggy and Shanks just chilling, talking, and Shanks reveals they found a devil fruit. But Buggy thinks eating devil fruits is kinda stupid, until he finds out how much they're worth. And he eats that shit, but nothing really happens. Then we find out it was a fake devil fruit and Buggy's planning to sell the real one. Now he's imagined all the money and treasure he's gonna get, but...
Oi, Buggy!
And that's how Buggy got devil fruit powers. And in the midst of that, his map falls into the sea. Buggy jumps in after it, but he can't swim anymore, so Shanks gotta save him. And yep, that's why Buggy hates Shanks. Luffy like, what's the problem? That's not even a big deal. But that does explain why Buggy cares about treasure so much. And speaking of treasure, Buggy sees Nami running off with his shit and he on her. But Luffy said, forgot your nuts, nigga. This makes Buggy split up even more in an attempt to avoid Luffy. And in response, Luffy does this. Yeah. Nah, that's the fucking toe stub of head. After all that, he's still after Nami. So Luffy just kicks the shit out of him. Oh! And that should have been it, but Buggy ain't got no quit in him. And he's got one final trick. Nami actually tied down the rest of his parts so he couldn't reconnect. So then Luffy says, see you, Buggy, and sends this nigga flying. Then he goes to put his straw hat back on, and since she sees it means a lot to him, Nami offers to fix it up, and she gives him a map to the Grand Line. But she makes it clear to Luffy that she is still not a crew member. So Luffy wakes Zoro up and tells him it's time to go. At the same time, the townspeople come back and ask what happened to their mayor, and Luffy dumbass like, oh yeah, I knocked him out. Nigga always starting some shit. Once they realize the townspeople are out for blood, Luffy gets to stepping.
Man! What did he do to make them niggas that mad?
On the way out, they run into the little dog, and he protects them from the mob chasing them. Real ass nigga, man. Once they get back to the boat, these niggas is here.
Huh?
Glad we're done with that. While that's going on, the mayor woke up and he tells his people not to go after the Straw Hats, and he won't allow any of them to badmouth the crew. But he got some beef to squash with him. But once he gets there, he just thanks them for all their help, and Luffy leaves some treasure for them to rebuild the town, which Nami is not very happy about. Yo, Zoro, save him! Bro! But now that that's over, the Straw Hats are on their way to their next destination, Syrup Village.
Damn. I can't forget about them late nights. I'm stuck in the mix, I can't shake right. We come in with blitz, we gon' play fight. We look foolish, we blind on my like a can. I stay out the mix, I can't fuck with you. You going